You want to set aside everything that you've come to know and believe all at once and just jump into whole new understanding? Oh. We should have known better than to put it that way. For as that is your desire, you are really going about it the hard way. And it also implies that what you have is not working when it is. So, if instead of saying, oh, I would like to set aside who I am or what I am or where I am and jump into something infinitely better, it is so much more to your advantage to say, I am such a good person in such a good place, seeking this improvement and this improvement and this improvement. Can you feel the difference? The reason that we are encouraging this gradual shifting, finding a new desire, finding a way to align with it, rather than trying to jump all at once into something that you cannot yet imagine, is because it is not vibrationally possible for you to make those quantum leaps, any more than you can set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98 FM. In other words, there has to be some vibrational relevancy to where you are. And so the way you evolve is by standing on your current platform, and a large part of your current platform equals a large part of your current vibration. That's what your belief system is. And you don't need to uproot your entire belief system. There is much that you believe that is serving you extremely well. Someone handed Jerry and Esther a copy of a book that was written in the 1930s. And the reason they were so eager to give the book to Jerry and Esther is because it mentioned law of attraction. And as Jerry perused the book, much of what he is hearing today from Abraham was written in this book. And then as he read closer, he saw that the author gave credit for her inspiration to Ernest Holmes. And Jerry has long seen a vibrational sameness between what he was receiving and what Esther is receiving, even though there are many years difference. And so as Jerry was reading this little book, the author, a woman, was talking about what an extraordinary, fast-moving environment we are all living in this modern day, and how hard it is to keep up. And Esther nearly drove off the road in the monster bus as Jerry was reading this to her, because she had been working to get her satellite dishes to work and working to get the communication between the office to work, and had been talking just hours before about this bleeding edge that they are living on in terms of technology, and almost longing for a simpler time. She said, my parents still have the television we had when we grew up. They still have the same telephone that was in the house as I was growing up. They have the same 10-key adding machine, the same electric typewriter. And while they do have a computer, they still have the same can opener, the same austerizer blender, the same mix master. All of these old, reliable machines that Mother knows how to use, that were built to last and did. And Esther was longing for the good old days, just a little bit. And then she is reading from a woman's perspective who was at that time on the leading edge, because the now always is the leading edge, isn't it? Who was in her day struggling to keep up with what was new. And what we want to say to all of you is that, first of all, you do not have the ability to create beyond your vibrational tentacles. And what we mean by that is the vibrational basis that you are standing in is the majority of your vibrational offering. And your vibrational offering is your point of attraction. And so there are two powerful points that we are wanting to make with Jerry and Esther's new awareness of how fast the leading edge of the 1930s felt to those who had just stepped from 1929 into 1930, just as sometimes your leading edge place feels almost faster than you are ready for. And we want to say to you that whether it was then or whether it is now or whether it will be tomorrow, the work is always the same. Your individual work is singlefold, and that is to keep yourself in vibrational alignment with your own desires. It's not to keep up with what everybody is thinking about. It's not to understand what everybody understands. It's not to mesh your desires or your beliefs with everyone else's. Your work, and the work of this woman who was living in 1930, your work is always to bring the vibration of your thought in this moment as close as you can in this moment into vibrational alignment with the desire that you hold in this moment. It was interesting, as Esther read or listened to Jerry read this woman's account of what it was like then, brief spatterings of it available to them. It was interesting to realize most everyone who is standing in their leading edge place has this sense of urgency about getting to the point of completion, getting it figured out, getting it solved. And there was something so interesting to Esther as she is listening to this woman speaking about solving it all way back when. And Esther couldn't help but notice that between 1930 and today, it didn't get solved. And it didn't get finished. It didn't get completed. And all of that striving seemed ill-placed. And we want to say to you, it is ill-placed if you're trying to get things fixed, if you're trying to figure it all out, if you're trying to get to the place that you think you were sent here by God to conclude. But when you get it, that whether you are focused in 1930 or 1940 or whether you're focused right here today, that your work is about being, observing, vibrating, concluding new preference, aligning with preference, and the world just goes round and round and round and round. For what? For what? We want you to figure out for what. Were those in the 1930s sent here to make it some way so that by some deadline it would be some way? So many want you to believe that. Gotta get ready, gotta get ready, gotta get ready, gotta get ready. For what? For eternity? For eternalness? For more opportunity to be? What is it for? What is any of it for? What has any of it ever been for? What will any of it ever be for? What it is for your creative pleasure in your now. It is for your opportunity to conclude what you would prefer and your opportunity to align that preference with the source that is you. And when you use the guidance that comes forth from within you to help you know whether you're in sync with the desires that you have set forth or whether you have not, then you're in alignment. Then you're in alignment with your now. Then you're in alignment with your source. Then you're in alignment with all that is. Then you are living that which you came forth to live. When you decide that you're going to go on a vacation, do you tell your friends, I'm going to meet these specific requirements? There are many things I need to do, and I'm getting them done. And I'll be back when I have fulfilled this responsibility. Or do you go for another reason, like pleasure and adventure and stimulation and exhilaration and refreshment? And so this is what we want you to realize that you have come forth into this physical experience about. You didn't come on a mission to save the world or to fix the world or to correct the world or to make the world see the errors of their ways. You didn't come forth to align the world, to unite the world. You didn't come forth to do anything other than have your experience, give birth to your preferences, align with your own preferences, and live happily ever after. You didn't come to earn worthiness. You already are worthy. You didn't come forth to become intelligent. You already are intelligence. You didn't come forth to achieve godliness. You already are God. You came forth for the pleasure of being the powerful creator that you are. And you knew that there would be a world full of others doing the same thing, and that you would mix and match, and sometimes you would agree, and often you would not agree, but out of all of it, a powerful thing would happen. New ideas would be born. And you knew that the new idea would be born, and that you would have the opportunity to feel the thrill of being there on the leading edge where the new idea is born, and to feel the rush of the creative life force flowing through your focused viewpoint. And you knew that you would have an emotional center that would let you know whether in this moment the idea that has been born within you aligns with other conclusions that you have already achieved. We want to talk about the value of who you are as non-physical energy when you decide that you will focus into this time-space reality. This worthy, loving, pure positive energy consciousness that focuses here for the express purpose of providing an opportunity for broader perspective to move forward. For the achievement of what? Expansion, yes, but expansion is inevitable. Joy, yes, for the purpose of joy. That's why we all exist. We exist for the thrill of our powerful now. And you know what's interesting? Whether you are East Coast or West Coast, is still now. Whether you are in this continent or on the other side of the world, it's still now. Whether you are physical or non-physical is still now. This is the powerful juncture where all consciousness has awareness now. Now. So, in 1930, this woman is aligning or not aligning, fully or not fully, with the broader perspective of her that is focused now. And you're doing the same thing. In other words, the juncture where the physical and the non-physical converge is now. And it is that converging of the energy of who you are with the energy of who you are. So as you stand in your now and you're loving your moment, you are in alignment now totally with who you are. We call that blending. Some call it allowing your soul to be present. Some call it inspired. Some call it tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Some call it in the flow. In other words, there are a lot of different ways of expressing this connection, this conscious connection with who you are. We call it the art of allowing. And it is an art because you practice it until you understand how you're doing within it. The art of deliberately adjusting my vibration as often as I can consciously manage for the sole purpose of allowing the juncture now of the fullness of me focused through the fullness of me. So when you meet someone who is achieving that in the moment, the way you would describe them, variety of different words, you would say, that's a happy person. You would say, oh, that is such a balanced person. You would say, oh, do you see how coordinated that person is? Do you watch the Olympics? Do you see those kids stand on those platforms or get ready for their race? Do you see them aligning with who they are or working to do that? Do you see them recognizing that they have a higher power? They have a broader perspective. They have untapped resources that they want to align with right here and now. Do you see the physician, the surgeon in the midst of his surgery, so focused upon what he's wanting to achieve and so wanting to be as steady as he can be and as inspired as he can be and as guided as he can be and as in alignment as he can be and as intuitive as he can be, as tuned in, tapped in, turned on as he can be. Do you see the musician who is so at one with his instrument that it seems as if there is no separation whatsoever?